You know, sometimes the biggest stories are hiding right there in plain sight. Just take a look at this. It's a title, right? A simple label. But what if I told you that the entire incredible story of a nation's birth is packed right into these few words and numbers?
And that's really the question we're tackling here. We're not just going to talk about the history, we're going to decode the title itself. We're going to treat it like a time capsule that tells its own powerful story.
All right, so let's get right into it. The plan is to break this title down piece by piece and really uncover the drama that's sitting right there on the surface. So, first up, let's talk about the name Pakistan. In the world of this title, this is our ground zero. This is the starting point, the political reality that exists right at the beginning of our story. Everything else is going to unfold from here. And then you've got Bangladesh. Now, notice where it is. This name, this is our end point. It's what comes out at the end of this historical chapter. It's the result of the whole story, not the beginning of it.
And finally, we have the bookends of our story, those dates, 1947 to 1971. This isn't just a random chunk of time. Think of it as the container for our story, a 24-year window where a massive, profound transformation happens.
So let's zoom in on that starting point, 1947. This is the year our title locks in as the official beginning of this whole chapter. So, in the logic of this title, 1947 is the beginning. Simple as that. It's the year the clock starts ticking on this whole narrative. It's the moment in time where our story kicks off with that single political entity we mentioned, Pakistan. And of course, every story framed this way has to have an end, right? So now let's jump all the way to the other side, to the year that marks the absolute conclusion of this chapter. And there it is, 1971. The end. This is the year our story, just based on the title alone, wraps up. And what's so crucial here is that this endpoint is totally tied to the appearance of that other name we saw, Bangladesh. Okay, so when you put it side by side like this, the transformation becomes incredibly clear, doesn't it? In 47, the story kicks off and the name is Pakistan. You fast forward to 71, the story concludes and a new name, Bangladesh, emerges. The title itself is literally showing us a complete shift from one identity to another. Which brings us to the real core of the narrative, the stuff that happened between the start and the finish. This is the chapter of change. This is the period where that transformation from one country into two actually went down. 24 years. I mean, just think about that. For such a monumental, nation-defining event, that is a remarkably short amount of time. This isn't a story that unfolds over centuries. It's a compressed, intense transformation all contained in this one neat little package. This timeline really lays it all out for us. Super simple. We have our beginning, 1947. We have our end, 1971. All the conflict, the cultural shifts, the political struggle, it all happened in that crucial space right in between those two dots. The title gives us the whole framework. So here's the bottom line. This title isn't just a label, it is the story's arc. It describes a journey from the name Pakistan to the name Bangladesh, all happening in a fixed 24-year period. The entire story is right there. Okay, so we've taken this title apart, and we've seen the story it tells, but so what? Why does looking at history structured in this very specific way even matter today? Well, it matters for a few huge reasons. First, this defines a nation's origin story. This is how Bangladesh came to be. It also shows a complete and total political transformation. And you know, this 24-year period is foundational. It completely set the stage for the political and cultural landscape of modern South Asia. And finally, it shows us something about how history itself is framed, that the very words we choose to describe it can tell a powerful story all by themselves. And that leaves us with one last really powerful question to think about. How does a history, one that's defined so clearly by an act of separation, continue to shape the complex, intertwined connections between millions of people in Pakistan and Bangladesh today? The story may have an endpoint in 1971, but its legacy, well, that's still being written every single day.